Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Sam and welcome to my 2022 manga collection tour. This one's long overdue, so I hope you enjoy. I'm going to be showing panels from the first volume of each series, so be warned in case you don't want any type of spoilers. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the tour. I hope you guys enjoy. Right. So starting at the main shelf, the first thing that I have is the Silent Voice box set, volumes 1 through 7. It's complete. The Silent Voice is really one of my favorite romances, dramas, such a great emotional journey that has an amazing ending. And the movie is just as fantastic. Really one of my favorite series that I own in my collection, and I highly recommend it. It has such great morals and lessons within the story, and really just a great emotional journey that will have you crying, I guarantee it. Next we have Wotakoi, Love is Hard for an Otaku. Volumes 1 through 5, that's what's up to date so far. We do have volume 6 coming out later this year, which will complete the series. And this is another really great romance, but this is more of a comedy, more of a rom-com. And I absolutely love this series as well. It's got a lot of gaming and pop culture references, which I really enjoy. Really just a lot of sweet relationships between some of the main characters while being, with a more grounded, more realistic story that's, less focused on these really over-the-top dating scenarios, but more focused on, real day-to-day reality that a lot of adults who are in the workplace can relate to. And it's something that I found myself really relating to as well, as being, an otaku who's in the corporate workplace. I love the art in this series. I love the romances between the various main characters, and I really love the humor to it. It hits majority of the time with me, and I strongly recommend it. Next up we have Rent a Girlfriend volumes 1 to 3. Have not read this at all. I've actually kind of held off on reading this, as I've heard the quality of the series really falls off in the later half. So I picked up the first 3 volumes as I found a good deal. So I was kind of on a rom-com kick, but haven't gotten a chance to read this, and now I'm a little bit more hesitant to jump into it from all the negative things I've heard so far. After that we have All-Star Superman, one of the comic books that I have in my collection. Really don't know much about Superman, but I picked up this as I hear it's a really great short story collection of Superman by Grant Morrison, who is a highly regarded comic writer. And I really loved it. I felt like it added a lot of depth to Superman's character for me. It's a character that I really don't know too much about, aside from what's been in like the movies that we've seen. But I really enjoyed it, and I felt myself growing a lot of love and respect for Superman as a character that I know a lot of people have who are big comic book readers. Next up we have Aquaman by Jeff Johns, who is another really highly regarded comic writer. And this might be my favorite comic book omnibus that I have in my collection. It's not too long, it's a quick read, and it really made me love the character of Aquaman, who again did not know anything about besides what we've seen in the Aquaman movie and Justice League that isn't too amazing. But this is another series that really made me fall in love with a character that I didn't know too much about, and I gotta say DC really holds it down with the comic books. Next up we have Green Lantern by Jeff John. There's 3 of these omnibus. I only have the first one, and I've read it, and I really enjoyed this as well. Again, rinse and repeat, but Green Lantern is a character I didn't know much about, and absolutely loved this omnibus. Really, I knew nothing about Green Lantern going into this, and so surprised by how much detail and background the character has. Is there are multiple lanterns, and there's just such a deep world, deep history and lore that revolves around the Green Lantern as a character. And I really enjoyed learning about it and seeing the rest of the Justice League, seeing the rest of the Justice League throughout this omnibus as well. But honestly, all 3 of these comic books, if you are interested in jumping to the world of comic books, these 3 I can all highly recommend. All-Star Superman is a quick read, great quality, and these other 2 are a little bit more dense, but also fantastic and great jumping off points for both characters if you don't know much about them like myself. Next up we have the One Piece box set number 2 and box set number 3. I absolutely love these box sets. For those who have been watching my hauls or keeping up with me on Twitter, know that I've been on a huge One Piece kick. A little bit of background on my history with One Piece. I read and owned the first box set a couple years ago, and I enjoyed it. I liked the characters, but I didn't love One Piece, I would say. Over the pandemic, saving up money to buy my first house with my wife, and I ended up selling my first box set and didn't really think much about One Piece. but I ended up finding the second one for a great deal and decided to start reading it a few months ago after, holding off on it. Got through Skypiea and I enjoyed it, but then when I got into Water 7, I was fully engulfed in the world of One Piece and all of the characters in the Straw Hats, and I've become obsessed with this series. Finished all of box set 2 within a month, started reading a ton of box set 3, and I've just become a huge One Piece fan. That's one of the things that I definitely want to pick up next is One Piece box set number 4. But I'm almost done with this third box set. I've already gotten to the New World, and I'm pretty far in with the Fishman Island or whatever the name of that location is in that arc. I've become such a huge fan of One Piece, of the Straw Hats, of the world building by Oda, and I love what is going on in the series right now. And I'm happy to say that I'm in love with the series, as so many people are, and I can see why it has such a strong fan base and so many great moments that I'll always remember from these 2 box sets, and I highly recommend it. Next up, we have a few volumes of Haikyuu, 1 through 12. Some of them are missing. I don't own any sports manga in my collection, and that's something that I want to change this year. Oh, well, aside from Haikyuu. This is actually a very recent pickup. I have read these volumes in digital through the Shonen Jump app, but I decided I wanted to collect at least one, sports manga to have it in my collection, and I decided on Haikyuu. As I've heard that it is, consistent quality throughout the series, and it has a very satisfying ending too. That's something that I was really looking for with the sports manga. I know it ended fairly recently. I really haven't heard anything bad or anything negative about it, as a majority of people that I trust and respect their opinions have loved the ending. Decided that this was going to be one that I committed to, and at least from what I've read so far, like these first 10 volumes, I really love this series. And I'm glad to have picked it up. I think it's got great action. Even, it's funny to say action in a sports manga, but it is action. It gets very intense, and there's a lot of epic moments that you would get from like a typical shonen, like a My Hero, but it comes from the competition and the drama between the members of the team, and really great series so far, and I'm hoping to have this completed at least by the end of 2022. So maybe in my next manga collection video in 2023, we'll see this all collected. Next, we have the Demon Slayer box set. I know there's a lot of mixed things, at least when it comes to the Demon Slayer box set. I know some people think that the art quality isn't that great. I do think some of those criticisms are fair. I do think the art isn't that amazing in some aspects, but I still think it's a really great manga series that I think is worth collecting, and especially in the box set, which I think is a really high quality box set. Also, I've seen some people complaining about the ending, but I thought it was a very satisfying and fulfilling conclusion, and I liked the kind of story wrap-ups we got for each of the Hashiras, as well as the main cast of Tanjiro and Nezuko and Zenitsu and Inosuke. Really epic fight at the end too. And a great shonen series. Not one of my favorites, but one that I still think is worth collecting or worth reading. Definitely worth watching if you haven't seen the anime yet, as it is fantastic, and probably one of my favorite ongoing anime right now because of how great the animation quality is. And but next we have the Quintessential Quintuplets box set number 1. Had the singles a while ago for this, sold them, and then found the box set for a really good price, so I ended up picking this up. This is another rom-com that I really enjoy. It's a very interesting plot, with the main character kind of being in this love pentagon, I guess you would say, since there's 5 girls, 5 sisters. But I really enjoyed this one too. I haven't finished it yet. I've read everything that's in this box set. I'm waiting for the second one to finish reading the series. Good comedy. I would say the comedy doesn't land as much for me on this one as the other rom-coms in my collection have, but I still think it's really great and worth reading if you're in the mood for like a rom-com or a drama or romance. After that, we had the Nichijou box set, and this is a series that I did not expect to like as much as I did. Slice of life, very comedically focused, just based around a group of girls that are in high school. It's almost episodic, different scenarios each day. There's not too much of a concurrent plot line throughout the story. All I can say about this is just extremely goofy and never takes itself too seriously. So if that sounds interesting to you, very lighthearted, very funny, and just something that you can pick up, read, enjoy a chapter, and put it down, and not have to be focused too much on a heavy plot line, then I would definitely recommend this, as it is It's great. I really enjoyed it, and I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, and I like having something that's very lighthearted and slice of lifey. This is at least where it gets a little bit more organized, less chaotic. First, we have Attack on Titan volumes 1 through 34. That is complete. It's so hard to talk about Attack on Titan nowadays because 6 months ago, this was in my top 3, and it was one of my favorite series that I owned. Absolutely loved it. It's so different than anything I've ever read. Always on the edge of my seat. Really, Isayama like always kept me guessing. I did not know what was going to happen next, and I always was thrown off by what happened. I remember, some of the key plot points in this series and the twists and turns have shocked me more than almost any other series or show, and really a lot of clever story writing throughout the entire series. However, I do not like the ending very much. I think it is all right. I don't hate it as much as a lot of people do, and I don't love it as much as some do. And for me, that's what takes it down significantly, is the ending that I feel like hurts some characters, character development, and and it kind of goes against who they are at that point in the story. I won't go into too much detail because I know there's a good amount of you that might have not finished it or read it, but I still do think it's worth a read. Like I said, some of the story plot points in this series are second to none and truly fantastic. And I think up to volume 31, 32, it's some of the best manga I've ever read. The ending is just what really hurts it for me. After that, we have Berserk volumes 1 through 40. Not much more I can say about Berserk that hasn't already been said. It really is that amazing. One of the best mangas written of all time. One of my favorite main characters in any series. One of my favorite villains. So creative, truly evil. Just a great story with some very serious and heavy themes. Some of the darkest things that I have read or seen in entertainment are in this series, so keep that in mind, that it definitely earns its explicit 18 plus rating, but if you're willing or able to get past that, you'll find one of the best written mangas out there, one of the best character developments in any story that I have ever read, going from really disliking a character to crying tears over their journey and their accomplishments, and hating a villain as well. Amazing action, amazing characters across the board, and the best art in manga for my money. Especially in the later volumes, it turns into something that each panel really is a masterpiece in itself, and Kentaro is one of the most talented artists, story writers to have ever lived, and I definitely think Berserk is worth a read if you are 18 and over and willing to handle some more mature content. I think it is absolutely worth a read. Okay, so after that we have Blood on the Tracks volumes 1 through 8. I believe that's up to date with what's already out. Another, sticking with that mature theme, another very mature series. I always have a hard time describing this series anytime I pick it up in my hauls, as it is very, very out there, very dark, always keeps you guessing, and that's really what's drawing me into the series, is how I really never know what's going to come next, and the suspense is probably the most suspenseful series that I've read. Consistently, at least, as every volume really is just so trippy, so suspenseful, that I have no idea what's going to happen next, and I can't help but flip the pages. They're quick reads. It's a lot of art that drives the storytelling, but I think it is beautifully done, and it is a really great series. Just trippy, really dark, and kind of weird at times. So I will say, it is weird, but I think it's great. After that, we have Chainsaw Man volumes 1 through 10. Absolutely outstanding Shonen Jump series. One more volume until it's complete with at least part 1. It's earned a lot of praise and a lot of hype over the past year, especially after its conclusion, and it without a doubt earns it. Another one of those series that always keeps you guessing. Some of the moments will have you absolutely shocked, to say the least, and it's well earned and well deserved for the praise that it's receiving. Great art, really great characters, and I cannot wait to see it animated later this year. I think it's gonna take the world by storm. For good reason. After that, we have Freerin volumes 1 through 4, and this is up to date as well. A slower, more methodical adventure / drama, but I think it is a beautiful series that has really taken me by shock, as I saw more and more people picking it up in some manga halls, so I decided to check out volumes 1 and 2. and I think it is a beautiful series that I've loved every volume so far. Like I said, it is a slower series, more thought out, more methodical. It is one of those quieter series that kind of makes you think along with the journey. It's just a joy to read. Fantastic art. It's a fantasy world with mages and knights and dragons and things along those lines, but it is a great series that I've absolutely been enjoying. After that, we have Hunter x Hunter volumes 1 through 36, and what a time to be alive. New pages, new chapters being written by Togashi as we speak. Love to see it. For those who don't know, Hunter x Hunter is one of my favorite series of all time. The anime is without a doubt my favorite anime of all time, and the manga is in my top 3. I absolutely love this series to death. From start to finish, I don't think there is a bad chapter. Even Greed Island, I Will Fight to the Death, I think is a great arc as well. The main cast of characters, some of the best in manga. The action, some of the most well thought out fights in shonen. So the villains are so creative. From the Phantom Troop to the Chimera Ants, they are just fantastic villains. Really so creative. Like I said, there's not a dull moment in Hunter x Hunter, from the character development to the fights to the villains, even to the art. I know the art is weak in some points, but I still think it's pretty great, especially in some of the high moments, like in the Chimera Ant arc. The art is beautiful, and I highly recommend it. Give the series a read for yourself. If you've never watched the anime or read it, you're doing yourself a huge disservice, as it is my favorite shonen of all time, and it is an absolute banger. It is so good. The characters, the action, the story plot, oh my gosh. I've read this multiple times. I will read it again. It is that good. After that, we have Jujutsu Kaisen volumes 1 through 15. I had volume 0. My office flooded, and that was the only volume that took a major L, but that's okay because I already read it and I saw the movie, and it was okay. Wasn't worth collecting. Probably won't collect it again, but it's still a good read. Volumes 1 through 15, however, are very, very good. Jujutsu Kaisen is one of, if not my favorite, ongoing shonen right now. Takes a lot of inspiration from Bleach. Darker, more edgy shonen, I guess I'll say. I kind of hate saying that, but it is true. And really great. We're living in an era where the shonens that are coming out that are popular are high quality chapter after chapter, and Jujutsu Kaisen is one of those. I love the main cast of characters. I love the whole cast of Jujutsu sorcerers. I think they are all very well, very creative, and it's just an exciting and fun series. I think if you like shonen, Jujutsu Kaisen is definitely worth reading, and I've really enjoyed every volume, especially the current arc in the volumes. Physicals, the Shibuya invasion arc, one of my favorite arcs of the new age of shonen. Really great arc and really great storytelling throughout the entire series. And Yuji is a great main character. After that, we have Love is War 1 through 22. I don't think that's complete. I think there is another volume that's coming out, but it is complete, at least with what's out right now. Won't say much to the series as I have not read it. This is what I plan on reading next after catching up with the volumes that I own for One Piece. But from what I've heard, this is a fantastic series. Weirdly similar to Death Note in the sense that it is kind of a mental jousting session between the two main characters, a mental battle. But the funny thing is that this is a romance, and the outcome of the mental battle between these two characters is having the other profess their love to the other. So funny, kind of, it already has like a goofy, premise, which I think earns a lot of, attention just from that alone. But it has a ton of quality, great art, and interesting, mental engagement, mental battles between the characters that'll have a lot of laughs and a lot of engagement. And I'm really, really excited to hop into this after I catch up with One Piece. After that, we have Mashal volumes 1 through 6, complete for what's out so far. I'm a huge, as you'll see coming up, I'm a huge Mob Psycho, huge One Punch Man fan. They're some of my favorite series that I own, and Mashal takes a ton of inspiration from those two series from one, and it also takes some inspiration from a story from sorcerers like Harry Potter. So imagine, the humor, the over-the-topness of One Punch Man combined with the world building and the magic of Harry Potter, and that's doing a bit of a disservice, but it's a good way to at least get an idea for what Mashal's about. Every volume will make you laugh, I guarantee it.
and there's a lot of great battles and a lot of good characters. So I'm absolutely loving Mashal so far, and I'm going to continue to pick it up as it is a great ongoing series. After that, Mob Psycho 100. Like I said, I'm a big fan of these two series. This is the webcomic for Mob Psycho, written and drawn by one. The art gets some criticism. I say it is unfair criticism. Yes, it is a different style of art. It's kind of weird, but that adds to the humor, and I think it is a strength of the series, not a weakness. Really great character building with one for Mob Psycho 100. I think better character building in Mob Psycho versus One Punch Man. That's not a disservice to One Punch Man, as I think it's a great series, but just the character of Mob is such a lovable main character, and each volume is packed with humor, packed with weirdly some emotional moments with Mob and his family and his friends, as well as just extremely epic fights. That's what I love most about Mob Psycho 100 is the build up to some of these epic battles is incredible, and the payoff is also incredible. But if you're going to read this, please watch the anime as well, as I think the anime is amazing, and I think they both are worth reading or watching. After that, One Punch Man volumes 1 through 23. Yep, that is complete as well, and One Punch Man is without a doubt in my top 10 mangas. I mean, just an incredible duo. We have the outstanding art by Yusuke Murata duoed with the fantastic writing and humor of One, as well as the characters, and it's like a combo made in heaven. Hilarious moments, art is jaw-dropping. It is that good, and it really enhances a series that would already have been great alone. Amazing battles, super funny. All the characters are so cool. Like, I would love side stories with some of these side heroes, like Metal Bat, the Genius Kid. Can't remember his name right now. I think it's Kid Genius. It might just be that simple. And the villains are super awesome too. Agaro, he is so sick. Oh my gosh. If you're a shonen fan, if you're a fan of action, if you're a fan of manga, like, just read One Punch Man. It is worth it. I'm caught up in the chapters. I read them as they come out, and I also buy the volumes, as it is that good of a series. After that, we have Sakamoto Days, Volume 1. I haven't got a chance to read this yet, but I hear it's a great new ongoing shonen, great humor, and also good action, and I'm excited to hop into it. After that, Spy Family Volumes 1 through 2. I'm definitely planning on picking up the rest of these and getting caught up, so expect that soon in a manga haul. A really, really fun ongoing shonen. It's a spy family who is not actually a family, but they weirdly are. And it's cute, funny moments with some great action dispersed in it, and definitely worth reading, especially if you have the Shonen Jump app, which you should. It's so worth it. $2 a month for a ton of amazing entertainment. Like, if you only have like a few bucks a month, that is the best bang for your buck. Over video games, over a Netflix subscription, the Shonen Jump app, $2 a month with tons and tons of fantastic manga. You can't go wrong, and that's one that I would recommend reading. After that, we have Yu Yu Hakusho. Tagashi in my top 3 for favorite mangakas, and Yu Yu Hakusho is amazing as well. I really love the main cast of characters with Yosuke Hiei, Kurama, and Kuwabara. Those four guys are just so awesome. Really, really creative characters, especially for their time, as this is an older series. But this is definitely one worth collecting and picking up. I have not been able to find Volume 2 for the life of me. Like, the Viz just decided to print everything except for 2 because I cannot find it. I haven't been able to find this for the past 2 years. But this is an outstanding series. The ending is definitely rushed, and I did some research, and I found that was due to Tagashi's health. That the reason that it kind of ended so abruptly, and supposedly that's where there was a spike in his health that got significantly worse. And it was around that time when he was coming out with these chapters weekly. To me, I think if this got a few more volumes, this could have been like one of the best shonens of all time. But it is still really, really great. And the Dark Tournament arc is so good. I'm honestly, like, all of Yu Yu Hakusho is fantastic and worth reading. For my money, Hunter x Hunter is the better series, but Yu Yu Hakusho is still fantastic and worth reading. My legs are starting to hurt from saying crisscross. After that, we had Dead Demons, the Destruction. I have not read all these volumes. I've read the first 4, and it was a really fun ride. They're kind of quick reads, so I plan on reading this soon and catching up with it. But this is actually my first Asano work. It's just kind of a funny premise. The storyline of the series is that it's based around this group of high school girls that are graduating and going to university, but a huge alien ship invades Earth, specifically like right over Japan. And it's funny because the plot kind of mainly focuses like on the girls and like their day-to-day life drama, and you also kind of remember that there's aliens. At least that's what I've gone to from like the first 4 volumes. I know there's going to be a much bigger reason for that alien invasion, and we're going to see background themes that Asano loves to put with his works as a deeper meaning. But first of all, I just really love the quality of these volumes. Like the physicals are such high quality. I know it finished, so I'm excited to get all those volumes and finish it for myself. After that, we have Grand Blue Dreaming volumes 1 through 15. What a series. Another one that's in my top 10. Mainly a comedy, I will say, but there's also some good drama, good emotional moments. Grand Blue Dreaming, funniest series I own by far. Each volume is going to give you a great laugh. The moments are just so over the top, so it's kind of similar to One Punch Man and Mob Psycho in that aspect, that the humor is really over the top. So if that's not your type of humor, I will say it's probably not going to land with you for this series. Not only is the humor fantastic, but the art is just beautiful. Like there's a reason that this series is in the top 10 on my anime list, and it's a comedy. Really great art, really funny moments, and just a great cast of characters. After that, we have Land of the Illustrious, volumes 1 through 4. I won't say much about this, as I don't even know what it's about, to be honest. I found a great deal on this on Reddit, and I know it's in the top 10 or top 20 for my anime list, so I was like, I can't go wrong with this. I need to read this, but looks cool. The art looks pretty sick from just flipping through when I picked it up. My Dress Up Darling volumes 1 through 5, taking the world by storm this year, and for good reason. Great rom-com. On the surface level, it seems like an ecchi series, but for those who have read it or watched it, know that just is a part of the series. What really grips you is the beautiful, sweet relationship, but the great relationship between the two characters, where the series is really a lot about individualism, like the characters being different than what is the norm for 2 high school students, and how they accept each other for that, and how you get to see their personalities and their relationships grow through their acceptance of each other. So really great romance, and I highly recommend it, but it is a little bit more mature, so keep that in mind. After that, we have Record of Ragnarok volumes 1 through 2, macho, over-the-top action series, fun fights, and great art. Not much more I can say, as I've only read the first 2 volumes, but I really enjoyed it so far. After that, we have Solo Leveling, the manhwa, volumes 1 through 2. I would say it's probably better to read this digitally, as the formatting physically for manhwa is a little weird, but if your only way of reading this is physical, it's worth reading. Solo Leveling, epicness. That's all I can say about it. If you like video games, if you like RPGs, I think that you will love this series, as it's got great fights, really epic progression from the main character, and does odes and nods to gaming in general, but makes it in a serious, well-executed story that really great, and I can absolutely recommend it. Okay, after that we have Vagabond, the Omnibus, volumes 1 through 11. I'm missing 12, plan on picking it up soon, as well as volume 37, but I have read all this so far. Also, shout out to these spines. I love when spines look like this. This is another one that's in my top 10. Amazing art, but the storyline is just beautifully written. So engaging. One of those stories that kind of makes you question your own morals, makes you think deeper about life, think deeper about how, what your outlook is on life and people and your actions and things like that, your morals. And it's always special to me when I have a series like that does that, and that makes me think deeper about myself. And Vagabond is one of those series, which is hilarious to think about, because it's about samurais and warriors thousands of years ago. This is one of those mangas that if I don't know someone, or if I know someone doesn't read manga and they say, hey Sam, what would you recommend? What's a manga I should read? Vagabond's going to be in that short list. And then all the way in the corner, let's see if I can get it in shot, is Zom 100 volumes 1 through 5. Good comedy zombie series, action-filled, very lighthearted, but it's a fun read if you're in the mood for, a series based around zombies, series that's goofy and it's ongoing. It's kind of fun to read something, alongside other people currently, but good series. I'm enjoying it so far. I have a lot of these lighthearted comedies, action series that I'm reading regularly, so I don't know if I'm going to continue to collect this, but I am enjoying it so far. Okay, so on the top we have, I don't even know how to pronounce that, Mujirushi by Urasawa. I've read 20th Century Boys and Monster. I don't have them in my collection as I sold them, but that's not because of the quality. The quality of the series is fantastic, so I do recommend them. I don't even have anything to say about that. Same for number 5. I haven't read either of those, but I'm excited. I'm going to get the next 2 volumes of number 5 and then read it all, so hopefully next year I'll have more to say about it. Planet Test. Okay. We are getting into some of my favorite manga. I mean, really all the stuff I enjoy, but these are some of my favorites. Planet Test by Yukimura. One of his earlier works before The Goat, which we'll get to in a second. But it is a short story. It's a quick read. Similar to Vinland Saga, makes you think about things in a deeper sense, introspectively. But it's a beautiful story written about humans, written about space. That's the setting, but it's more so about people and how we interact with each other, how we grow. And it doesn't have as much of an emotional impact or grip that Vinland Saga gets out of me or will have on most people, but it's still a beautiful short story that I 100% recommend. It is a great series, and Yukimura cannot make a bad story. After that, we have Vinland Saga. I still remember, watching manga collection videos, manga hauls 5 years ago, and people were saying, when there's only 4 volumes out, 3 volumes out, this is a great series. I definitely recommend it, and I would just kind of push it off. Like, yeah, I know it's great, but a story around Vikings doesn't sound that exciting. Please pick up volume 1. If you're in a similar boat, push those thoughts aside. Make that your priority to at least get volume 1, because this is the go-to series that I recommend to people who want to hop into the world of manga. It has some of my favorite characters of all time. Thorfinn is just an outstanding main character. The character growth that he has is my favorite in manga and some of my favorite in entertainment, period. He's a beautifully written character. All of the characters are just amazingly written. The villains, Askeladd, the side characters, Thorkel, Thors, Helga, all of them are just so well written, and the plot line as it progresses from the 4 different arcs always keeps you engaged all the way up to the very end. It's not finished, but we're getting close to that conclusion, and it's just a beautifully written story. For my money, Farmland arc is peak manga. Some of my favorite that I've ever read, probably my favorite arc in manga if I'm being honest, and the whole series is just fantastic. Please read this series. If there's one thing you're going to take from this collection video, is that Vinland Saga is worth reading. It is my favorite series, and it is a 10 across the board. It is a masterpiece. After that, we have another great series, Fullmetal Alchemist, the Fullmetal editions, volumes 1, 2, and 4. I found these for a great deal. That's why I have them. I don't know if I plan on collecting the rest of them. It's still a great series. I think Brotherhood, watching the anime, is the best way to experience the story, as I think the art is a little bland. It's still great. It's still a great story and drawn well, but I just think it's a little bland. I think Brotherhood is the best way to experience this. But these Fullmetal editions are really cool, and it's a great series. Fire Punch Man, this literally came in 2 days ago. I love Chainsaw Man, so I wanted to pick this up. Another series written earlier by Fujimoto that I know some people love, some people don't love. Kind of more of a cult classic, but I felt like now that I have more of appreciation for Fujimoto's work from reading Chainsaw Man, that I would enjoy this as well, as I absolutely loved that series. I literally ordered this like 8 months ago, and it just came in yesterday. So don't have much to say other than that Fujimoto is an awesome writer, and I'm excited to hop into that. Moriarty, don't have much to say about this either. Sherlock Holmes, ongoing shonen. This came in recently as well. I was waiting a long time for this to come in, but I'm excited to hop into this too. And the art looks pretty cool. Here's the Mandalorian ship Lego set that I built, a Gundam, and some of the extra volumes that I have that I either haven't read or don't really have space for. So really can't say anything about any of these. So maybe next year I will. Actually, I do have something to say about Nagatoro. She's so mean. Like, I don't know if I enjoy this series. I don't know what the appeal of it is. Like, she's just so mean. I don't get why people like the series so much, but maybe people are into that. Who knows? Really threw me off. Like, as how many people love that series. When I read it, I was like, what the heck am I reading? She's just a jerk. Like, there's not very much redemption, but maybe that comes in later volumes. I just won't be there to find it out. And then we have some more Gundam.
Oh, we also have the Metroid Dread Collector's Edition. Love that game. And some Gundam that I need to build. Okay, guys, we're wrapping up. I have a couple more things to show. I have Batman, the first omnibus by Scott Snyder. My favorite version of Batman by far, over the movies, over the Arkham games. This is such a good omnibus that I highly recommend. You get Court of Owls, you get Joker, you get the Riddler, you get some of Mr. Freeze. All of it is just fantastic. Great origin story for Bruce, just great stories in general, and fantastic art. Awesome bang for your buck. It's like $70 on Amazon for so much good Batman stuff, and it's a huge book. Amazing Spider-Man by JMS. I've been trying to find volume 2 of this in stock forever. This is a really great rendition of Spider-Man. Beautiful art, fun stories, and a great series. Woo! And then lastly, we have one of my favorite series, one of my favorite things that I own in my collection, and that is the Akira 35th anniversary box set. Man, the quality in these books is some of the best in manga. Well, some of the best that I've seen. There's probably some that are better. But this is just an amazing box set to own. So cool the way that it opens. The quality in the books is great too. So it's a great series. It's not just a high quality collection. Really like one of the godfathers of manga. I know it's not, at least from my lifetime. I know manga goes way further back, but this is one of the ones that I saw the movie in like middle school or high school. And I was like, whoa, like anime is way deeper than I thought it was. And this kind of, added some fuel to the addiction that I have now. The manga is definitely the way to experience it. The anime movie is fantastic. I'm not going to take away from that, but there's a lot that's left out, and the manga has the full story. That's totally worth experiencing. So I definitely recommend picking this up or picking up the paperbacks. It is a great series, and I absolutely love it. All right, so that is it, guys. That's my manga collection slash manga closet. What I love most about this collection is that I can, close it up whenever I need to, look a little more professional in my office so that you can't see all this. And then I open it and I just see this world of stories that I adore, and dopamine immediately starts rushing whenever I see all these volumes because I love my collection and I love these series so much. Thank you guys for watching. I know this was a very long video. Hopefully from watching this collection, you have a series that is moved up on your to buy or to read list, as I think there's a lot of great series in here. Hopefully I don't lead you astray with my recommendations, as I really love a lot of these, and I think you will too. But thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the collection. Please consider subscribing if you like manga content and you like some of my commentary of these series, as I love making these videos, love making hauls, love making reviews, and I love having discussions with you guys in some of these series. So hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you continue to have a great day and a great week, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace out.